gay ass very faggot accent. Fuck them cheap ass cigars. Fuck your yuck mouth teeth. Fuck your hairpiece. Fuck your chocolate. Fuck Guy Ritchie. Fuck Prince William. Fuck the Queen. This is America. So my Lambo is blue, nigga. Now get the fuck out my hotel room. And if I see you in the street, I'm slapping the shit out of you. Look, fuck you. Fuck the plane you flew in on. Fuck them shoes. Fuck those socks with the bell on it. Fuck your gay ass very faggot accent. Fuck them cheap ass cigars. Fuck your yuck mouth teeth. Fuck your hairpiece. Fuck your chocolate. Fuck Guy Ritchie. Fuck Prince William. Fuck the Queen. This is America. So my Lambo is blue, nigga. Now get the fuck out my hotel room. And if I see you in the street, I'm slapping the shit out of you.
Hello, beautiful people. How are you today? Well, after a night of being gang stalked and having these CIA assholes drive past my house, so I wanted to talk about sound. People really don't understand how powerful sound is. And specifically, I hope all the agents watching my house understand that sound is their key weapon. Now, what do I mean by sound? I'm going to explain to you how Darpa and how the NSA and how the CIA operate with sound and how they hack into you and how they control me and their mind control assassins. And I'm going to give you a special treat at the end of the video. So I want you to listen up and listen well. Because even right now, you hear me speaking, but in the words of the many Asian masters, you hear, but you don't hear. You see, but you don't see. You think you understand, but no, you understand nothing. And within these words, find a greater understanding of self. Now, these are things that I live by in these words. Because in order to live in this world and to deal with the things that I have to deal with and to understand the things that I have began to understand, you really have to basically take yourself back into the place as a child and understand that you know nothing. And everything is always changing and growing and evolving. This is the path of life, and this is the true path of love. Now, I want you to understand sound. What they have done to me and all the other targeted individuals and people exposed to MK Ultra is heavily about sound and negative frequencies. When they would program us, they would have us strapped down to a chair. Now, I'm going to explain this chair. I've never explained this chair, but I want people to understand what the fuck they do to kids. No one's ever talked about the chair. I've never heard anyone talk about the chair. I'm going to talk about the chair. The CIA programming chair. The Project Montauk chair. They take you as a child and they strap you down naked into this chair. Legs, arms, head, nothing can move. Then this mechanism comes out of the bottom of the chair. Depending on if you're a boy, the mechanism straps itself to the tip of your penis, and it also, there's a metal like prong that will go up your ass. So I want you to understand this chair is in a room called the programming room. And this chair also is outfitted with harmonics and hooked up to harmonics to make the body and DNA vibrate at a low vibration. So they can record everything about the stimulation, about what you vibrate at or how you vibrate at your sexual peak. And this room is filled with speakers and flashing lights and a few big screens. And these screens are used for programming. They strap you to this chair, and also the chair has these things that hold your eyes open. You don't even blink, you can't. So this thing that they have strapped to your penis strokes the tip of your penis until you have an orgasm, and at the point of orgasm, the prong goes up your ass right before. And then this is a forced orgasm for about, they can do it for 20 minutes, they can do it for an hour. Have you in this catatonic, orgasmic, programmable state. This is how they program child assassins in Project Montauk. Bottom line. So again, this is all about sound and specific sounds and frequencies that they put inside you to respond to have a numerical sequence also, and they program this numerical sequence in with the sound. So I want you to understand what's basically these gang stalkers have been doing to me with sound. They have these cars that drive by my home that are louder than normal cars. They have a digital type sound to them, and you can tell them from normal cars if you have a good sense of listening. They don't sound like normal cars. They sound like digitally enhanced cars. I'm not kidding. They're not from our dimension, and they're not from this timeline. They're from another timeline and another dimension. Rothschilds and the Satanists trying to preserve their witchcraft dimension that they created. Their timeline where they control all humans with these things. So these cars that I basically call harp cars, because in another future, in another timeline, they took Nikola Tesla's technology in such a way that they basically compressed it and put it in fucking cars. And so if you get like 5 of these cars driving together, you have basically the equivalent of a little HARP weather weapon. All based on the same frequency, all with the same highly encrypted satellite hookup. So they don't need to even have the HARP facility anymore. They can have a group of their cars or 2 of their cars parked around other cars in a parking lot. And there you go. You have a little mini HARP facility in a parking lot utilizing the other cars that have Wi-Fi satellite link up. This is how they've designed their new cars. This is from their futuristic timeline where they have hell on earth. So, I want you to understand that I am a child assassin of Project Montauk. Now, I'm going to explain it again. I explained to you in the last video. They would give us missions. Say, Mr. Jin Lee is going to create something in the year 2014, basically like the same thing I've created, but Jin Lee needs to be assassinated before he creates this thing, or the idea that led him to create this thing needs to be found out where it comes from, and if he doesn't need to be assassinated, if they can get a hold of the initial point of the idea and where it came from through Darpa brain mapping, then they don't have to kill him. They just have to destabilize him and make sure he doesn't do what they don't want him to do. There's many ways of assassinating a person, an idea, making them go left when they're supposed to go right. Project Montauk is sick. They will have a child assassin go back in time and say a person is supposed to meet the love of his life. And the love of his life, they're supposed to have a child, and this child becomes one of the greatest inventors to save humanity. So then they send a child back in Project Montauk and intercept the female at a store and acting like a lost child. And then she spends time trying to find the lost child's parents. But the lost child has no parents. The lost child is a time traveler sent there to take this woman off her timeline for at least 10 minutes when she was supposed to, say, bump into this guy on the street and they have a great conversation, and that never happens. They've had us do small things like this, big things to assassination. It's endless, people. I've got my memory back, CIA and Project Montauk. You know my memory cap is blown. So I'm announcing it, and they're so afraid of the shit that I know right now. You're not going to re-administer my mind cap, CIA, Nazis, and Project Montauk, with all your bullshit HARP cars driving past my house, throwing your little fucking nano demonic technology into my room, creeping into my head through my nose, through my eyes, through my mouth, through my fucking ass and penis. This is Nazi nanotechnology. And you have no idea of Japan, Russia. Do you think it's just me? Do you think your Putin is safe? Do you think any of your assassins are safe? Thanks to Snowden, no, they're not. I can guarantee you right now the CIA and NSA, Russia, Japan, China, they know where all your sleeper agents are. Because of Snowden. I'm not going to get into that shill motherfucker and what he did to Japan and Russia. That was the last video. But I want you to understand, Project Montauk, this is what they do. If they need technology, if they need something worked on and they can't figure it out in this lifetime, they have facilities. Say this is 2014, they'll send something back to the past. So by the time it gets back around the 2014, you've got another 10 years of evolution on it secretly. That's how the US government works now. And increasing their technology, sending technology back to the past. You have no idea what you're up against, but I do. And I'm the only person right now that's standing in between humanity and these sick fucks. While Russia and China and Japan and any other person that stands against them won't do shit to really help me except for maybe share my videos. And thanks for that, people. But I can honestly tell you that everything that I'm saying right now is being recorded by several different people from several different timelines, and my videos only serve the purpose to educate you and to see who's going to make moves and who's going to sit there with a stick up their ass. And that's the honest to God truth, because I know where I'm from. I know where they took me from. I know what timeline they took me from. I know who my parents really are. I know what they really did. And let me tell you something. There's no way, Nazis, you have a chance in fucking hell in beating me. Even if I'm the last one fucking standing in this timeline, which you know, not even a fucking nuke can destroy me. So let's be honest, Nazis, you're not going to hack into my mind and try to figure out my people's secrets. I brought these things here to completely annihilate you and wipe you out. If you think that you had control of me during Project Montauk, you are a stupid fucking fool. See, that's the problem with Nazis. They're so arrogant. They think they're almighty with their little fucking technology. To depend on your technology and to depend on the shit that you create is an utter right slap in the face and a goddamn embarrassment to where I'm from. You fucking stupid. All your technology is stolen and half-ass, based on low frequencies, based on low algorithms, and based on stupid fucking psychotic witches that fuck children. Take a good look at yourself. A good look. And you have everybody afraid of this. Because now you got your CIA, ISIS going around with fake Hollywood-made bodies, acting like they're beheading people And then you got your CIA agents masked and fully masked, dressed up like black Muslim ninjas, when you know that's CIA under those fucking masks. So now you got that faggot Obama saying, oh, we're going to go back and get ISIS now. Now you're moving fucking tanks into Ferguson and sending Navy SEALs and hit teams into Ferguson. When you sent tanks, when you sent all kinds of military vehicles to Ferguson over a year ago, to their FEMA camp. So now you got Jesse Jackson, who is also part of the Prince Hall Black Freemason Lodge, who Obama also is part of the Prince Hall Black Freemason Lodge, which is the only Freemason lodge that is run by a black Satanist that the Blue Lodge of the UK recognizes. It's the only reason why Obama's a fucking president. Those are all the faggot black satanic Freemasons sworn to Satan. So look at Ferguson and look at what's really going on. These people, I want you to understand, have access to Tempest, psychopathic computer programmed by psychopaths. HARP, psychopathic computer programmed by psychopaths. Echelon, psychopathic computer programmed by psychopaths. If you study a psychopath, what is a psychopath? They have a superiority complex. They think that they're God. They are completely and without a doubt inhuman. They don't think like humans. They are not humans. They're Satanists walking demons. If they could cut off the head of their Lord Lucifer and take his place, they would. They have no humility. They are all about themselves. They're all about rising to the top of the pile and controlling all the other devils. They have a super God complex. Once you understand this about them, it is their greatest weakness. They don't change. They may be able to mimic human emotion. They may be able to mimic human behavior. They can even fool a lie detector machine because they're just that psychotic in their beliefs and their ways. But understanding these psychopaths and what they do is the key point. Now, going back to psychopathic sound, what is it? Psychopathic sound is built on algorithms. Algorithms built by Darpa based on your thought process and based on how you react to certain stimulations, certain situations, certain things like love, girls, boys, friends, music, songs, computers, food, sex. It's all brain mapped by Darpa through cell phones and computers. I am a child of Project Montauk, where they had me hooked up to a chair where a computer would program this, and then during programming they would try to program my brain like a computer. And then this computer had a name. They call these human. They're demonic entities programmed to control us like computers. That's all. if you understand Descartes and his way of thinking and mechanistic thinking, and how humans in general have outgrown Descartes' mechanistic thinking, but still these psychopaths want you to think that your brain and your body is like a clock. We need you to believe that your brain and body is like a clock, so we can control your clock mechanism and estimate and guesstimate every fucking thing that you will do and think. This is how they work. This is how they think. This is their computer language. This is Darpa in a nutshell. This is the basis of this psychopath. So once you understand how they operate and how they work, you can totally rip them apart. They're not going to change. They don't know how to improvise. They don't know how to think on their feet. They may think they do, but they don't. They keep doing the same old shit over and over and over and over and over again. And they can't figure out that it doesn't work. So what they try to do is to try to hack into somebody else and try to figure out, oh, something else that might work. Using the same old bullshit, but just with a new little kind of twist on it. Complete fucking ignorance. But they have people like Alex Jones and David Icke and Snowden and all of these other shills pumping fear porn into you. Giving you, oh, they're doing this, a New World Order and Freemason this. Be scared of this shit. Satan's coming. The end of the world's coming. New World Order, bullshit. Their end is coming. I can promise you that. They know what I am. They know what I can do. And they know about what I'm about to tell you. Now, I explained this a little bit in the last video. I'm going to fully explain it again because I want people to understand this. During Project Montauk, after they program you as a child assassin and then send you to martial arts guys and then continue to program you, I trained 8 years as a child in Japan with a secret ninja code. Then they sent me to other places and trained with other people, whatever. Don't care. So I want you to understand this is standard for all of their assassins that survive their training and programming, because a lot of them don't. Only the strong survive. So I want you to understand. Let me paint a picture. And they've done several Hollywood films about this. I think it was, with Jean-Claude Van Damme, who's also, his first movie was he played the French Foreign Legionnaire. Do y'all remember that one? I think it was before Bloodsport. So, Time Cop. That's what it was. Now, if you haven't seen Time Cop, go watch it. That shit came out in the 80s. Now, I want you to understand, in the 80s, they weren't just doing these movies to tell people what they're doing in the technology. They were doing these movies to cement the progression of their technology in the subconscious of people, so the timeline wouldn't distort and rip apart. This is one of the major purposes that Hollywood serves. You need to understand that the human subconscious is a very powerful thing. And when you have a massive amount of people watching the same thing, their conscious, instead of going left, if they wanted to go to hell, and they show all their hellish films, it goes left. But the subconscious naturally was designed to go right, on the path of goodness, harmony, love, and God. This is nature. This is natural. So I want you to understand the purpose of what movies serve, people. It is sound and visuals and flashing lights. Bottom line, that's a movie in a nutshell. Programming. So when they did this, which say the movie Time Cop, they not only were telling people and cementing what they were doing, they were actually going into people's subconscious to basically help, or ask the subconscious to help them continue to solve their time travel problems, and to put their, so-called essence out into the ionosphere for them to just grab up and pick. Okay, we can do this, we can do this, we can do this. So if you understand the concept of the movie Time Cop, it was a time cop that would go back to the past and that would capture renegade guys that were time traveling and that would fuck with time and basically kill people and do all this other shit. And it got to the point to where one guy did so much to the past that the time cop future, where the time cop was from, pretty much was destroyed. If you understand physics and time travel, this is very, very possible. If I were to go back in time and assassinate Hitler, this would not be this timeline. Well, I can honestly tell you that, that did happen. And there were things by design, Nazis, that you will never have and that you will never catch, that are way better and way smarter than you. So yeah, Hitler was assassinated. But I'm not going to go into the complex details of how you go back and assassinate someone and still maintain the timeline. That's some classified shit. So Nazis, your fear has been dead. Anyway, moving on. So I want you to understand that this was their first problem with time travel. So if you understand the concept of Time Cop, understand that when, say, they would send me back to say 1962. And then I did what they did. Or did what they told me to do. And took some woman off her timeline for meeting some specific guy. And then they didn't have a child. And usually the way it goes is they usually send a Satanist in to meet this woman, or a demon, and impregnate this woman with a demon child. Honestly, not kidding. So to make their timeline go, more demonically their way. You have no idea how sick these fucks are. And how many women they've done this to. You don't have a clue. And ladies, I can guarantee you, I can look at you and tell you had something special and you were not supposed to have that baby, and that baby is a half fucking demon. That's why if you see me, I'll look at you like, oh wow, she's beautiful, and I'll look at that kid and I'll say, oh, that kid needs to be killed. It's like that. I mean, I was designed and programmed to see these things. And I wasn't programmed to see these things by them. I'm going to explain what I did to myself real soon. First, I need you to understand about time jumping. In Project Montauk, there's a chair where you jump from. A little wormhole opens and, you jump down it. They open this wormhole through the chair. Not the programming chair. It's a jump chair. Kind of like, what movie did they, have you seen the movie Sphere? When the guy's sitting in the chair and then everything around him is like, it's basically another timeline. That's real. But put that in Project Montauk and put a little kid jumping through the timeline and just landing in that time. That's the jump chair. So I want you to understand Project Montauk is basically like in the movie Time Cop, equivalent to the Time Cop facility, which Time Cop might as well be called Darpa right now. Seriously. Because Darpa and Project Montauk are one, basically. One project. So I want you to understand pre-Darpa, pre-brain mapping, when you would jump and go back and make an adjustment to the timeline, because that's what they call it. When they send someone back, they've sent many people back to this time. In the past, I can't even tell you how many people they've sent from demonic timelines from the future back to this point to try to destabilize me because they're having problems in their satanic timeline because it's crumbling and they can feel it. So I want you to understand what I just explained to you. Now take this concept and put it at basically when I were to go back and make an adjustment as a programmed assassin for them. Now I want you to understand when you do this, everything shifts. The universe around us shifts. Like I said, if an adjustment is made on a woman and she misses that specific point in time where she, say, drops her pen and it's picked up by this guy, and she looks at this guy and this guy says all the right things, and next thing you know they get married and have a child. If that moment is changed, she doesn't meet that guy. If that moment is changed, that child isn't born. If that moment is changed, that invention is never made by that child that's supposed to change humanity for the better. Do you understand? So then a shift happens. People die, people fail to exist. It is like a mass execution. But see, the thing about this is you don't remember, you don't know. Time adjusts in this way. This is time travel. This is why it should never be tampered with, because of what Darpa, the Satanists, witches, Luciferians have done with the NSA, CIA, Skull and Bones, Freemasons. And like I said, Russia, about a month and a half, 2 months ago, you sent warships to Mexico because of what they were doing. That whole battalion and those ships that you sent, they don't exist anymore. Because they sent their demonic fucks from the future and guess what they did? And how do I know ships were coming? Because I have a good memory and I have a good ear, and I'm never wrong about these things. So I want you to understand, Russia has known about this. And they've been trying to develop technology to detect time shifts. This is the purpose of Snowden, Russia, and you know what I say is true. This is what happened to your development, and if you go back to my last video, when I talk about Snowden and the purpose that he served to put in this virus in between everybody's new firewall and old firewall, which Snowden himself caused everybody to do, that is the purpose of that virus. To adjust your computers that Russia has tried to design to detect time shifts. Because somehow in Russian intelligence, the CIA and NSA, Russia, got wind of what you had and what you were doing, and so they sent in Snowden. Same with Japan, because Japan, you know about what the Chinese are doing with time travel and their big fucking Stargate. So that's why Snowden went to Japan and then Russia. Let's be honest, I'm talking about some over your head intel shit that nobody is supposed to know but the highest level of intelligence. But Russia, Japan, fuck it. Your agents, Japanese and Russian, are in jeopardy because of Snowden. Imagine, Mexican cartel. I was walking yesterday, Russia, after I sent you that letter to the Kremlin, which, knowing that Darpa is going to know, and I wanted you to see exactly what they would do. I'm going to tell everybody what they did. Russia sent 2 agents. The fucking police drove by these 2 agents, flashed his fucking lights, just to show Russia, oh, we know about them too. The bullshit cops. Mexican bullshit, low-level, blue Masonic, satanic cops know about Russian intel assassin agents, Russia. So I want you to understand about the time jump and what happened to me one particular time. This was on one of my first jumps, and I was supposed to jump back to a Project Montauk facility, and due to the time shift and the calculations that they had, it didn't work. I jumped and I landed somewhere, I think New Mexico. And then through my beacon, it set off, they sent a ship out to get me. And I mean a undetectable UFO. So when the ship picked me up, basically what I did was I killed the operators and I took the ship. So I want you to understand, when I did this, they knew I did this, and then they sent a ship back in time at me. They sent a ship back in time when I was living in Navasota, Texas, to kidnap me. When I was a child, before all the Project Montauk child assassin stuff started. But I'm very good at what I do. So when I took the ship, and this ship had programming technology on it, because all the first Montauk ships did before I did this. And Nazis, you'll still never get that ship. I ripped it apart and built a new one that's 1,000 times better than your bullshit. So understand, I'm going to explain it again because for some of you people, it's hard for you to get your head wrapped around time travel. When I jumped, did my job, I jumped back to Earth, and there was a shift. Landed in New Mexico, they sent out one of their UFOs to retrieve me. I killed the guys on the ship and took the ship, and so they knew this, and so then a beacon went off, and then so they sent a ship from their facility back in time at me before they thought my programming existed. So that was in Navasota when I was a kid. So going back to Navasota when I was a kid, when they took me, they were told to put me out with their gas. So the futuristic me did some things to my body that made me impervious to this gas. So me knowing that they would go back in time and come at me, I trained myself as a child assassin before they started training me as their assassin. So then when their ship came and got me, I played like I was out, which their gas didn't affect me. Waited for the guys to go away. Waited for one of their surgical guys to come back in and thinking I was out. Grabbed one of the surgical tools and killed him and took that ship. So then I had two ships, one as a child assassin before their programming, and one as a child assassin before or after their programming. So that's two ships, Nazis. And there was a girl on this ship. So we had two ships with your Project Montauk technology. And a future me and a past me as a child. And guess what? We met up. We trained. We devised all kinds of shit that you will never ever be able to fuck with. So this is what's going on, people. So I want you to understand that I had to put myself back under so I wouldn't remember this, so they would never find out until the right moment and the right time was to strike the final blow. So, welcome to Project Montauk, motherfuckers. What's up, CIA? What's up, NSA? What's up, Darpa? How many cars you gonna drive by my house today, huh? How much nanotechnology you gonna throw in my room? How much you gonna get this little bitch and these Satanists living next to me? Huh? How many curses you gonna get them to cast today? How much money you gonna pay them, huh? How much money you gonna pay the CIA living across the street from me? How many spells are they gonna cast today on me? Huh? I want you to understand that I see and know every fucking thing that you do before you do it. You have no idea what you're up against. And you know me from those timelines with those ships that I took, and we sent back your bullshit. So you would just think everything was okay? Motherfuckers, please. You have no idea what I built, and you will never catch me. You fucking time thieves. I'm telling you right now, your timelines where you're getting all your signals from and all your people are coming in, have you been there? Do you know what kind of facilities that we have where you think you're coming from? And when you jump, do you really know where you go? Or do you get somebody that just comes back who you think is or what is, but you don't really go there, do you? No. So you don't really know what you think you know. Wake the fuck up, psychopaths. Your shit is done. You're so fucking stupid and predictable. And to depend on your technology is an absurdity and fucking blasphemy. I never depended on your wicked shit. It's built by psychopaths that fuck kids. Been waiting for this, cops. Been waiting for this, pigs. Every single fucking one of you. I don't give a fuck about you. I know what you do. Prostitutes, kids, all that money. You psychopaths with them. So don't think I haven't forgotten about you when you send a cop into my home to assassinate my fucking family and then replace them. So, now you know Russia, Japan, China. You are listening to a black Chinese, descended from the Zhao dynasty, Chinese. And let's be honest, you racist fucks. You sucked the dick of the fucking white man for too long. You even with your racist Chinese bullshit won't even admit to your black lineage. But you don't even want to remember that, Africa and China were one. You don't even want to remember that your own martial arts comes from the Afro man. Through movies and television, you've gained glorification of that. And that's cool. That's why even Quentin Tarantino, if he don't give Laurel Ashton her money, he's going to get whacked. Because of bullshit movies like that. And in the 80s, you gave us what? The Last Dragon, Mr. Bruce Leroy. Oh, gee, thanks for that. But don't forget about the Zhao dynasty, motherfuckers. Don't forget about the Olmecs, Chinese. See, that's why the Chinese got with the fucking Red Dragon, let's be honest, to racism. Because they don't even want the truth to come out. But they will go up in the clubs and dance to our music, right? Respects to Bruce Lee, but fuck you, Chinese triads, for what you did to him and tried to kill him because what? He was retraining other black people, their lost art? Because that actually came from them, and I'm sure he figured this out through studying. So to understand the way is to really understand the way and which way it came from. And understand how even the Chinese have destroyed their own black history. But you can see the Afro-Chinese when you go to Vietnam. You got Vietnamese darker than me. These are still the people that they can't dispute, but the Japanese and the Chinese look down on the Vietnamese. Do you know what they call the Vietnamese? The niggers of the Asians. But I can tell you something, Asian people, the Vietnamese have never been beat. Why is that, huh? Not by France, not by the UK. So the US military, they can't beat them. So they got to go up into their country and just fuck into them. So they got to get that bloodline. They got to get that Vietnamese blood so they can have assassins to go in and secretly assassinate all the problems in the country and control it through the shadow government. See, I'm killing all the shit with this, but people don't want to hear the truth. They want to turn on the internet and watch Alex Jones and fucking David Masonic Ike and get some fucking Nazi Swedish fucking bullshit Satanist say, oh, let's give Snowden the Peace Prize. The same one they gave Obama, same one they gave Hitler. And now you got a Nazi, German, Swedish guy saying, let's give it to Snowden. Why do you think, Russia? Huh? Wake the fuck up. I'm telling you this because there's only one thing to do. Do you know what black sand means, bitch? Do you know what black sand is, bitch? Black sand is a call to all fucking assassins. You better kill them right now and be done with all of them, and that's it. Because all your sleepers, all your agents, Russia, thanks to Snowden, they're in jeopardy. Japan, all your agents, all your sleepers, thanks to Snowden, they're in jeopardy. So, all assassins, I'll say it again, fucking black sand. Now here's my special treat. Enjoy the ending. Yes, this is my remix. Peace.
Look, fuck you. Fuck the plane you flew in on. Fuck them shoes. Fuck your socks with the bell on it. Fuck your gay ass fairy faggot accent. Fuck them cheap ass cigars. Fuck your yuck mouth teeth. Fuck your hairpiece. Fuck your chocolate. Fuck Guy Ritchie. Fuck Prince William. Fuck the Queen. This is America. But my Lambo is blue, nigga. Now get the fuck out my hotel room. And if I see you in the street, I'm slapping the shit out of you.
Hey boss, this just came for you.
What is it?
A letter. So open it, dumbass. What?
What is it?
Looks like sand. Nope. Sand. Black sand.
You know what this is? Ah, you want to let us in on the joke?
Years ago, I watched a man open an envelope like that one. There were many with him. And they laughed as you laugh now. And then it came from the shadows. And their laughter was drowned in blood.
What came out of the shadows?
I cannot say the word.
What word?
That night, one of their blades struck here. I should have died but for an accident of birth. My heart is here, on the other side.
The
fuck is that? Looks like a ninja, boss. A ninja? Are you kidding me? That's the word you're afraid to say? Ninja? Ninja. There you are. Yeah, you had me going. Ninja. That's some good shit.
Yo, get by War 21, you know how we roll things on this studio. Ha! Yo, what about people and whatever. Rude, we know what we are going to do them. Slew them. Who them? Well done. Yo, I'm going to say again. Slew them up, their feelings, them a carry. Them done go already and them can't say them sorry, yeah. Slew them up, their feelings, them a carry. You know, I them something again. Well, you what you with me? Who them a could have, what them a try. Them got this king still I see what you all of them guy, yeah. Who them a make us see them with this spell. Them listen when you will and them so you're not hell, yeah. Who them a could have, who them walk out. Them this Marcus, I know them all by big girls, yeah. Who them a make us tell them this blur. Tell them can't this mama hurt. You know see a dead man them. No be man them, and no with them. Yeah, be fun them. Them don't hand them up, they dead man them. Them don't like me, we don't like them. Tell them something I keep the funny one friend. Tell them something I keep the set up my friend. Them got to close, but they let them root them. That's why I it's red out of them. Who them up to that what them a try. Them this thing say that's the what you all like them guy now. Who them a make us see them with them smell. Them this same and they well and them so you're not hell, yeah. Who them a put down, who them walk out. Them this Marcus and them all by big girls, yeah. Who them a make us tell them this blur. Tell them can't this mama hurt. Some people not them don't flat. Them evil hard but them come rock you fast. Wine too much ass, snake on the grass. Bow to the boss, move too fast. Me tell them bout them ras. Who tell them to go up, me use them to hard. No they use them to them now, so shut down the dog. Them to them no full talk. Them no fool who a come check from them hard. No one to come from you, build out them talk. This thing is the rock and do all like them glass. Yeah, the fucking food me put in up them clap. That is no policy but must get down to yard. Yeah, these people must love to walk. Them can't even smile or laugh. No one have them. Who them a put down what that them a try. This thing is the rock and do all like them guy have. Who them a make us see them with them smell. Listen to me and them so gonna hell yeah. Who them a put down, who them Marcus. Them this Marcus what you them all by big girls, yeah. Who them a put down what that them a treasure. Them can't this mama nigga. Yo, sense with that people like them never get a place. See that them never school that low voltage. Them not have the faith, no confidence, no hold the rest of them, no reference. Find out so no bad them, disappear them. So we find out them don't have no content. Them don't have a clean and a clear conscience. This kid's still a say and it never makes sense. This is what you can get kicked off on the bench. This man was young and rich and get checked out. Who them a put down with that them a try. This kid's still a say and you all like them guy now. Who them a make us see them with this smell. This them and they well and them so gala. Who them a put down with them walk. This man was a do them all by big girls now. Who them a make us tell them this swear.
Get down. Get down. Get down.